What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Talk on Tide podcast. We're here. You can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the major sports, NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, you name it. We're here to talk about the big games, news, highlights, all that fun stuff. And in today's NBA segment, we got a lot of exciting stuff. Draft coming up, free agency shortly after that. But before that, moves are already being made in all departments. Coaching. But first, we'll talk about the trade that went down yesterday as the Oklahoma City and Chicago Bulls make a trade, just a one-for-one swap. Alex Caruso, star defensive guard that can knock down some shots from three-point range. Trade for Josh Giddey. And Josh Giddey, we talked about all playoffs, was kind of holding the OKC's Thunder back. Just never really fit quite in well with this team. And you saw it down in the playoffs. Ended up playing like 10 minutes or less most games, even despite starting, and eventually got removed from that starter role, rightfully so. But now he heads on in this one-for-one swap, and boy, Sam Presti might be up there for best general manager because everyone knew the great spot Oklahoma City stood in with their youth, being the one seed, making it to the second round, and now they're making great deals. They get a star defensive guard to pair next to SGA in that backcourt because Josh Giddey couldn't play defense for shit, couldn't shoot for shit. Don't know why he was out there, but he was. Now they got a guy that can just play 3 and D, and that's all you need. One of the best defenders in the game, and he brings as a Timberwolves fan, I hate it because now that brings them another step with us. And the Nuggets atop the Western Conference and Mavericks. So it's going to be scary. But, credit to the Thunder, big trade, even I like it. I mean, you get a really good defensive guard. And Josh Giddey just never quit fight well with this team, and to not give up any picks. So you still have all your picks. Like, oh my God, What is going on? And for the Bulls, I just don't know what you're doing. I guess you're embracing the tank because this is of embracing the tank, but you get no draft picks with it. So that's great. So now I assume they follow something else up. They trade DeMar, they trade Levine. Like something has to give here. I don't know what the Bulls are doing, but no one really ever knows. They're kind of always stuck in no man's land. So, shout out the Bulls because before Michael Jordan came and after Michael Jordan came, it's just been a disaster. But, at least you can say you had those years.
I think you hit the nail on the head in that they're fully embracing the tank because I also know that, or I saw a post that they called 15 different teams talking about trades for Zach LaVine too. So it kind of seems like they're just trying to empty house and collect on young players and draft picks. But like this ain't it. Like Josh Giddey is not a dude you give up a 2-time all defensive guard for.
Yeah, you couldn't get anything more. Like
he's just everything. The only thing you got is youth, but like, I don't think that should really matter in a trade. Like, yeah, you should have got more. You're exactly right. You should have got more from
disaster work by the Bulls. But Sam Presti once again fleecing teams, so that's a huge credit to the Thunder, and now they're looking to take that next step towards a championship, and this is definitely one of the steps you do. With that being said, though, so obviously that trade happened. Great trade for there isn't really much to say what ifs or this or that. Just a great trade for the Thunder. Bulls, I mean, what an awful trade. Now you're letting one of the best teams in the league, the one seed from last year, get even better without giving up anything. So, shout out the Bulls for making everyone's life in the West more difficult. But we also had some new coaching changes. Obviously, Monty Williams gets fired after 1 year, so he's making $80 million just doing nothing. So, shout out Monty Williams. Obviously, disaster year for the Pistons. They want to make a change. Don't know why they didn't do this earlier in the offseason, like back in early, like middle April or even any point in May. Like now, like if you wanted Coach Budenholzer, he's off the market, or some of these other coaches. That's kind of concerning. But yeah, with that being said, though, the biggest news probably JJ Redick now is the Lakers head coach, and now this is going to be one of the most polarizing moves of the offseason. And I'm excited to see how it translates. Obviously, he's done a great job on his basketball podcast. Him and LeBron, and now he's going to be coaching LeBron, 4-year deal to take one of the most controversial jobs, because everyone thinks the Lakers, I want this job, but it also comes with a lot of pressure from the media and stuff like that. But we'll see. I feel like JJ Redick has the personality to be up for the test. He's a really smart X's and O's guy, but part of the thing is, can he win the locker room over? It'll be interesting because I think him and LeBron are like the same age or something. So very close. So it'll be interesting to see. Definitely one of the younger head coaches in this league. But, I'm excited to see what he does, what he cooks up. This is definitely a Lakers move. Go somewhere unique in this scenario. And I'm excited. He wasn't their first choice. And I was a little bit worried if he would turn it down because, because it looked like Shams reported, oh, yeah, they're finalizing deal to become the Lakers head coach. And then, Dan Hurley's coming in for an interview the next day. And they made an offer. Dan Hurley rejected it, though. So now the Lakers are going with JJ Redick. So, if you're a Lakers fan, it's going to be an interesting move. I think it'll work out fine. I think he'll be a decent head coach, I don't think he'll be as bad as like a Steve Nash was player-wise, but, can he, live up to like a Jason Kidd coaching level but it took him a while because he couldn't coach for shit on the Bucks. The Mavericks look questionable, but he's led them to an NBA Finals just this past year, in a Western Conference Final before that. So we'll see, because we've seen some player coaches be good, some player coaches be bad.
Yeah, anytime a new coach goes in to a LeBron team, I always worry for him, because I think the expectations are always going to be higher. You're always expected to, at bare minimum, make the playoffs. And probably, the expectations are probably to go to like the conference finals. And then if you win the championship, it's kind of like, well, yeah, good job. Like, and then you'll get a little bit of credit. And then if it comes crashing down, or not even crashing down, but just say they're 5 games under 500 at the halfway mark of the year, people are going to be calling for his head, calling for trades. LeBron's going to be, going into the GM mode and just really, I don't know. It was the same thing I worried about for Dan Hurley, and that's why I was so glad he didn't take the job, is because I didn't want to see such a good coach like that just take all the blame for, an old mediocre team to not make the playoffs or get bounced in the first round like they did this year.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. It's definitely one to be more controversial, but I think he's got the personality. Mm-hmm. I've seen Dan Hurley get quite tempered very quickly. Not sure that would have lasted in the NBA. Yeah. So that was one thing I was concerned about. But, they make this higher. Overall, I'd give it a solid B minus. I think it'll be good. But, I'm not sure. Not too sold. My A-plus coaching hire still goes to the Suns. I think Coach Budenholzer was the best coach on the market. So, shout out Suns. And, you're right. Part of it is there's a lot of high expectations. I remember Darvin Ham basically getting no credit for that WCF run they went on as a 7 seed. And he only got slack for when they lost to the Nuggets both times. Right. So, it's a controversial take, but we'll see. And then lastly, some news for the Sacramento Kings. Huge news for them. They re-signed runner-up for 6th man of the year and one of the best, free agents on the market, Malik Monk, to a 4-year, $78 million deal. Most people weren't quite sure, what he would do, but this guy all he does is score. He's very good at, shooting, can do a little bit of both. I remember against the Timberwolves, he went off. And he can also pass the ball. And, like I said, great guy to come right off the bench. You go from De'Aaron Fox to Malik Monk. It's not much of a downgrade. That's how good Malik Monk is. And, he got the bag. So Sean Malik Monk staying in Sacramento. Now the Kings, are in a weird spot because now they re-sign one of the best players on the market. But this team, if you just run it back, were the 9th seed last year. So, where do you want to fit in? That'll be the huge question mark. But, I'm excited to see what happens. Sacramento didn't want to lose him, and I didn't want him going to an already made team. But it would have been exciting to see him on a team like the Spurs with Wembanyama starting out somewhere else in a starter role. But, he takes a 6th man of the year role. It shows how non-selfish he was. And gets paid. So shout out Malik Monk and the Kings. I know the Kings fans are happy he's back.
Yeah. I don't know. You can see this tweet right here. This person said a 6-man is signing for 78 mils, WTF. I think this contract shows how important these bench players are actually becoming. Like, we see it so many times in the playoffs where a team can have a good starting five, but their bench just doesn't do shit. I think we even saw it really in the finals when Dallas, they had that 1-2 punch with Kyrie and Luka, but just no help around them, no scoring. There was no scoring threat. And on the flip side, a team like the Celtics or other teams that are going deep, even the Nuggets last year, the Timberwolves this year with Naz Reid, like those teams that go deep have good benches. So I think we're probably going to see a lot more, bigger contracts go to guys that don't even start just because of how important they actually are.
And the average annual value for this is $20 million. Goes to show how smart the Timberwolves were to sign Naz Reid a year ago. He made a 3-year, $41 million, so it's around like $13-something million. So that's kind of a steal for the 6-man of the year as well. So yeah, some good bench contracts going out. I assume though, like Naz Reid's contract, this also has a player option. I know Naz Reid's player option is after this season, so he probably opts out and tries to get a bag from the Timberwolves, hopefully, because that'd be weird. I know, like Nick or any team would really want him, but it would be weird if Naz Reid was not in a Timberwolves uniform his whole career, even though he's only like 24, 25, because just the way the city's embraced him with those tattoos and stuff, that would be very weird to see.
Favorite there for sure.
Yeah. That it was like it'd be like the Celtics with Marcus Smart. It'd be like heartbroken city for like a year. So with that being said, shout out Kings, big deal. So every team's trying to make moves to chase the champion Boston Celtics, who will be celebrating their parade today. Obviously, I didn't want to go because I got wedding attendance, but still repping the Lucas Sock shirt from the Game 4 watch party today. So going to be fun there. Boston's already packed, and everyone started drinking at 8 a.m. So gonna be fun.
I don't think they stopped drinking. I don't think they've stopped drinking since they won.
Yeah, no, they were in the it was so weird. I saw a photo of Joe Mazzulla walking around with the trophy in Boston. Then like 24 hours later, I see the trophies in Miami with Jason Tatum. I have no idea what the hell is going on. But yeah, Celtics celebrating right tonight or today. Should be a fun time in Boston. Going to be a lot of beers, a lot of celebrating. But while that's happening, every other team is probably besides Dallas from the playoff run is just starting the grind and enjoying vacation. But they're getting their bodies ready because you need to chase the champs to beat them. So you got to climb that mountain and work.
Those teams have a head start on you now. They have a head start when it comes to preparing for next season at least. So
the Charlotte Hornets have been practicing since April. So that'll be interesting to see. But with that being said, gonna be a fun offseason. It's just beginning. Like I said, draft coming up, possible live stream for the draft with us. Free agency shortly after. That's gonna be crazy. More trades are gonna happen. So it's just getting started, and we're here to talk about it. But make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and we'll catch you next one. Peace.